Paywall, and this is a continuation of the series of videos about fire extinguishers, and in particular the suitability for your workplace. So in this video we're going to look at the water fire extinguisher. It can be recognised by a red band of colour. Every extinguisher has a band of colour to denote its contents, and water is red, and therefore it's the only extinguisher that's completely red. So it's an extremely popular extinguisher. It's in perhaps 90% of workplaces across Britain, and the question is, do we think it's suitable? And most probably the answer is yes. To understand how water works, we need to look at the fire triangle. So to support combustion, fire needs fuel, heat and oxygen, and if we remove one of them things, the fire goes out. So water removes heat. It works by cooling. It's designed to work on solids, by which we mean things like wood, paper, plastic, upholstery, carpeting and so on. And on the whole, it generally gets the thumbs up. When it comes to using the extinguisher, all we're ever really going to be left with after the event is a pool of water, reasonably easy to clean up. So generally speaking, a good extinguisher, but there are perhaps a couple of things to just be aware of that might make us think of alternatives occasionally. One is the presence of electricity. To use water on electricity or electrical equipment is extremely dangerous. Essentially the water is a jet, it's not a spray, so current can and would travel straight back up the jet and electrocute you. So we have to be very careful when we're using it. And the second thing to be aware of is the weight of a water extinguisher. Often they're sold in the 9 litre volume, which is a heavy extinguisher, perhaps 15 kilograms in a 9 litre water extinguisher. So if we've got staff who are quite slight, and they're really going to struggle to operate that, and the last thing you want is somebody trying to put a fire out and struggling to hold the extinguisher. So there are alternatives. We need to look at, do we really need that volume for the area that it's in? We need to look at whether there are alternatives. Maybe foam occasionally may be better. Foam indeed is safe generally to use in the vicinity of electric, not to be confused with using it on electric, but it's a spray, so the current would not travel back up like it does on the jet with water. So these are some of the things we have to consider when looking at using water. It does have other advantages. It really could be used as a first aid. If somebody's burnt, then to have 9 litres of water with you to use for cooling, that certainly is an advantage from that point of view. But again, one other possible drawback is in areas where it gets extremely cold, where the water's likely to freeze. So a good example may be a warehouse where the building may have been surveyed and specified in the summer months, and the specifier just misses the fact that the roller shutter's up all the time, and come winter there'll be days when a water extinguisher near that roller shutter the contents will freeze. So there are ways around that. There are water extinguishers with additive and antifreeze, but ultimately this kind of tells us that really should leave it to an expert to specify what you need. But on the whole, do we like water? generally speaking, it's a thumbs up.